welcome to the WongaPod.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Finally.
We're there. Well, crazy. The last time there was a WongaPod, like, it's 2022.
I know, which is when we first met.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. For those who didn't know, Jordan is like the first person to join the Wonga team.
The first Wangan.
Well, we can't say Wangonian.
Wangoni.
Outside of me, of course. And for everybody who doesn't know, WongaMedia is my baby in a way, but it is our company. We are a digital marketing company, we do a lot of stuff within the food. Well, I love to do things in the food marketing space. Of course, we have a lot of other clients who don't fall within the food and bev, but personally, I love food and bev.
Yeah, we've worked in over 14 industries. This is since our last 2024 wrapped. So,
Yeah. So given that we are, in marketing, I feel like both of us have a general love for marketing. Trust me, if you look in me and Jordan's DMs, it's literally just like kikiing about all of the stuff that we've seen online.
Activations, ideas, things our clients should be doing.
Or DM convoys, basically, I think tank at this point. So I wanted us today to talk kind of like, funny that you said or 2024 wrapped.
Yeah.
I kind of want to wrap 2025 in some with some what was really going on in the Jamaican food marketing space.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. So I guess before we really get into it, just like, what are your thoughts? Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, jokes?
Not just 2025, but generally, I think, marketing, especially food marketing in Jamaica, is very binary, very boring. And, we need some innovation, we need some shake-up, we need some mix-up. And
so we're starting off the episode rough.
I mean, that's just the truth. Like, I love marketing, I love working in marketing, but I do think that based on our general culture of marketing in Jamaica, it just sums it up to being boring.
Yeah, and I feel like, there is you and I have talked about this a lot before. Like, I feel, and with even a lot of our clients and stuff, we have a lot of grandiose ideas that we think would be so cool. And then it comes down to we just don't have the budget to execute something like that, or we're not willing to invest in that. And then I think a lot of it comes down to, especially with a lot of those like big companies that kind of already have a name established that maybe would have the budget to do bigger things, but
the
like
iconic Jamaican brands.
Yeah, but then it's like, should we even bother because people are gonna come and buy our products anyway because they don't really have another choice?
I think, my thing too is people don't realize that the whole thing with marketing is it actually is your job to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
And I think a lot of Jamaican brands, they're so stuck in their ways that they don't think it's necessary to reinvent the wheel for the average or typical Jamaican consumer, which is sad because, in the age of social media now, and especially TikTok, you're privy to the activations, the ideas, the happenings of all these global brands, and you're seeing how they're committing, not just money, but resources in general to appeasing their consumers. And Jamaican brands are just like, relax.
I think I can speak for both of us, is that our biggest downfall is that we have access to seeing what's happening in other countries, because it's like, for example, you see what companies like
Biggest
Road
heartbreak.
and even
Base
and like all of these companies that aren't like, they're not legacy companies, but their founders and their boards and the people who care about them and who build them from the ground up are so invested in them, and you see the impact that they can have, and then it kind of just feels like, I want to do this. I want to make this impact here. As a marketer, I want to be behind something on that level. And then you pitch it, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's a great idea. And then it just never comes to life.
I
it
think
never comes to life.
it's like two things that CEOs, and I'll say CEO in reference to like people in decision making positions, what they miss as it relates to marketing is it's two things. One, you need to have commitment.
Yeah.
And two, you need to be able to dare to be different. You need to want to push the boundaries because that may be a USP for your brand. That may be what separates your brand from the next.
Right. I also think there's a lot of conversation as well around people confusing marketing with sales.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times
I'm triggered.
Granted, like money for make.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, money for make. Money for always make. But I think there is something to be said about how a lot of brands, at least the ones that we've worked with, care. I wouldn't even say they care about the ROI. They care about the sale that they're gonna make.
Yeah.
Because ROI isn't always about money.
Exactly.
Right? But here, I find that a lot of people, when they say ROI, that's what they're talking about. When they say ROI, they're not even talking about leads generated. They're talking about the conversions to sale.
To dollars.
And I think some of the most iconic global brands care about public perception and reputation, and it's not always about how much are we going to sell now, but it's about how many people are gonna have our name in their mouths now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. How many people are gonna continue to talk about us, so that the more people talk about you is the more that you stay top of mind for people, and the more that you stay top of mind is, trust me, the more people are gonna eventually come in and
because something we don't measure out here is like brand relevance, and that's the whole purpose of marketing, is to ensure that you're cementing your brand name in whatever generation or generations that your product or service is being marketed to. And we miss that out here.
Sometimes I wonder though if it's because of, I was talking about this to somebody the other day about like the lack of competition. Because there are some places that, mind you, there are some industries that have a lot of competition.
Yeah.
But even though there's competition, there's like...
We believe in monopolies in Jamaica.
Yes, because even though there's competition, I'm not calling a name, but like nothing about a certain clock company.
Right.
And like even though there's a lot of competition popping up, there is one winner. Yeah. There's clearly one winner. Yeah, at least right now.
Still a dedicated following.
Yeah. And so in a way, theoretically it's not a monopoly, but in terms of relevance,
market share too, like you can't even compare it to anybody else, even though there are competitors, like whole different ball game. So I definitely think in general I don't know, I'm kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place because of course as a business owner myself, I do understand that like there's like money I have to make at the end of the day. Like we can't just be spend, and then we're not seeing the return in terms of dollars and cents. I get it, because if the money not make, me can't pay my bills, me can't pay my employees, and at the end of the day, money have to make because I want to live a good life. What is the point of going into business if not to make a profit? You know what the thing is too? I feel like the pressure is always put on us because you can invest in marketing and, whatever the returns are, as you say, ROI can be different things. Different things can lead to sales. I think my problem with some of these brands is their fixation that they absolutely want to see that the $1 that they spend is going to equate into $2, $2, $2,
$3, $4, $5,
and I'm like, before that $1 has to get to $2 or $3, it has to pass through so many phases, because let's say that $1 is invested into something that generates word of mouth marketing. How are you going to measure the amount of people that have your brand name in their mouths?
Yeah, You really, a lot of times you can't.
You can't.
And one of the things to that I think I learned last year is I find it so funny, especially because we're specifically in the digital marketing space.
Right.
And of course, like digital is obviously new. It's still relatively new. A lot of companies are just now thinking to invest in digital marketing. I mean, a lot of Jamaican companies don't even have a website.
A lot of Jamaican companies still don't have a social media.
Right. And so it's still relatively new. It's a new concept. But what I find interesting is that whenever you talk about social media, everybody wants the numbers.
Yes.
Everybody cares about the numbers. What's the numbers? How many people saw this? How many people like this? How many people follow this? And they want a quantitative number.
Yeah.
And
I almost feel targeted because before social media, were you even tracking numbers?
This is what I'm saying. This is where I'm going with the conversation because when you put up a billboard, you can't track the number. There is an estimate.
Let's be for real.
There is an estimate, and the most you can do is go off of the estimate, but there is no exact number of how many cars.
Real.
First of all, you can maybe say how many cars, but you know how much people in each car, how much I see the billboard. Also, just because a car pass no means that them see the billboard neither, you know.
Exactly.
But you know how much billboard me I focus on the road.
My thing is, like, or I should say, my theory is that before social media, before digital marketing, people were just making up numbers.
Literally, let me tell you.
Writing something on paper,
guys,
and just say, I saw it go.
As a young and budding company, WongaMedia is about 3 years old. And I remember the first radio ad that we ran for our client.
Yeah.
And of course, being in the business of social media, I think I have also trained myself to be very quantitative. Like, I want to see the numbers.
Same.
And I remember going back to the radio company after and saying, okay, like, is there any way for us to know how many people heard the ad? Like, how many people were tuned into the radio station at the time that the ad was played?
Yeah.
No. We don't have that figure. We can't tell you that. That's not something that we track.
My thing is, and when I remember that situation clearly, and I'm just like, some of the thing, like one of the main marketing points for these stations is being able to boast that, I have the most listeners, I have the most people tuned into this radio show.
But then you can't tell
me
the number.
Where are the numbers?
Where you can't tell me the number.
Like, where are the numbers?
From a marketing standpoint, you cannot tell me the number. And I find it so interesting that you can't tell me the number, but everybody have a radio ad. And I'm not bashing radio ads. Radio ads are very effective.
Still relevant.
Let me tell you something. I not buy popcorn chicken. And me buy when the barbecue popcorn chicken did bust, I bought it. Correct. You know why? Because
there was a jingle.
I was driving on the road and I heard that jingle about 5 times. When I tell you that jingle penetrated my brain, I went home and I ordered popcorn chicken expeditiously.
And it was busting.
Yeah. So this is not me dissing the radio ads. I think radio ads are very, very, very good and very, very effective, especially for people who listen to if your audience are avid radio listeners, for sure.
Correct.
However, there is just this when it come on to digital is like we're picking and we don't want to do this because we're not going to be able to measure this. You can't tell the number and how do I know if I do a collaboration with an influencer? How do I know how much money I'm gonna get back from the influencer? You're paying an influencer like $60,000 and you want to know how much money you're gonna get back from the influencer, but you don't mind paying, like, dropping a cute $500,000 for a billboard for a year, and you don't know how much you're gonna get back from that. Come on.
My thing is, you think about a full 360 marketing campaign, and digital is pulling the most amount of money right now just because of the relevance of social media and all of that.
Yeah.
But digital isn't the most expensive component.
It's not. It's so cheap.
It's so expensive to put up a billboard. It's so expensive to run a radio ad, and these are all things that you cannot track. You cannot quantify the ROI.
But the cheaper thing is what we're gonna nitpick.
Is what we're nitpicking.
And mind you, I'm not saying we should nitpick because again,
numbers to track.
Numbers are very important. And I'm not saying that numbers are not important. They're very important. But I think when you're going to place such a high value on the lack of number from a digital activation. But for whatever reason, you don't really care that much about about the numbers from a traditional activation. I think that's where I think there's some bias and unfairness within our industry for sure.
I agree.
For sure. But yes, all right. So let us talk a little bit about some of the biggest moments of 2025.
Ooh, scary.
Biggest food marketing moments, that is.
It's about to be controversial.
I have a little preliminary list right here.
Okay.
I just gonna go through them. And just share our thoughts.
Okay.
I thought it would be fun.
Fair.
I think one of the biggest marketing moments, food marketing moments in 2025 was KFC celebrating their 50th anniversary.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, come on. People were...
Glass broke.
People were fighting. People were late for work.
The news.
Like, KFC... That's the first time I've ever seen, like, KFC deny business because they were genuinely out of chicken.
Yeah.
Like...
I feel like the island almost came to, like, a stop. Literally, everybody was... KFC was in everybody's mouth. If the chicken wasn't in your mouth, the name was in your mouth.
Yeah, like, I swear to you, like, KFC is also one of the only brands that I feel like could pull off something like that. And don't get me wrong.
And still have positive brand sentiment.
Still have positive brand sentiment. Like, people were fighting, as I said. People left work to join the line, end up not going back to work because the line was so long. Like, who doing that right now in the Jamaican space?
For anybody also who doesn't know, KFC celebrated their 50th anniversary this year by... Is what they do again. Then they give out chicken. It's like if you did order a meal deal, you get a meal deal free or something like that.
I think it was something
like that. And you could order up to 5.
A 5 or 7?
One of them.
Because
either way, you could have gone with about 20 pieces of chicken for half the price, basically. And
crazy.
Yeah, it caused a huge ruckus. As I say, people did a broke glass for getting a KFC. The securities definitely complained about being overworked. Police was on the scene. But my God, I will tell you, it got a whole lot of media coverage.
I don't know. Do you think it was successful, though?
I think if the goal was to increase word of mouth, and I think if the goal was to increase just general chatter about the brand awareness, I think if the goal was also to even produce a bit of positive brand sentiment, I think it was successful.
Okay.
I think if the goal of that campaign was to have a positive customer experience, I don't think it was successful in that way. But I somehow don't think that was the point.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? To KFC's defense also, I feel like, just typical Jamaican consumer behavior, especially when it relates to food and especially when it relates to fried chicken, we love our belly, we wanga belly.
Facts.
And like... sometimes you don't really know if we behave ourselves when there's freeness.
Yeah.
So,
Jamaicans love a freeness.
Love a freeness. We are free culture.
Facts.
Like,
I mean...
put freeness, KFC, and especially fried chicken in the same sentence.
I was going to say,
it's going to be chaos.
I mean, we could have a whole separate socio-economical conversation about why Jamaicans love freeness, but the fact of the matter is, based on our current society, how it's set up, we're going to love the freeness. And I feel like I would like to think that the people at KFC knew that Jamaicans like freeness.
Exactly.
I think from a very macro lens, I think it was great in terms of it felt like KFC was giving back.
Right.
KFC was giving back to its consumers.
Felt like it was for the people.
It felt like it was for the people. And I think the intention, I think the motivation behind the campaign was that. Let's give back to the people.
I agree.
I don't think enough thought was given to the actual execution.
Yeah, I'll say
and
that
I think,
too.
in my opinion, that's where they failed on customer experience.
Yeah, and sometimes it's as simple as like telling persons what the limit of what you could have ordered was, because I remember that being like the really big point. Like people were showing up ready for buy 20 meal deal. I remember if you did buy one, you'd get one, which means you want one left KFC with 40 meal deal. You're back big, but like
no, people were freezing chicken. People had chicken. People had KFC for dinner for like weeks.
But also, them never know. It wasn't something that was announced to be like, you can only get this amount.
That's the thing. I felt like the deal was publicized a lot. The fact. So let's talk about that. The deal was publicized a lot and it was great. I feel like leading up, it was a pretty good rollout. I feel like everybody knew about it.
Yeah.
So I think from that perspective, the campaign, the leading up to it was successful.
Agreed.
Everybody knew about it. KFC leveraged, I think, all the right tools to get people to know about it.
Right.
I love the fact that it extended outside of just that one day. I mean, they had... I think a lot of KFCs even now still have up like the KFC 50 sign above the building. I really appreciated what they did because the first ever KFC location was the KFC across from JC.
I did not know that.
Yes, and so I love that, like they had like a little stage show there on the day. It was like an event at that particular KFC. And so I feel like when you look at it from a theoretical point of view, it was hugely successful.
And you know, I'm happy you said that because that also made me realize that I'll give KFC as one of the very few Jamaican brands that do 360 marketing and commit to it.
Yeah.
As in,
they commit to the bit.
KFC I gotta have a jingle, KFC I gotta have a TV ad, KFC I gotta be on social media, KFC I gotta keep an event,
Facts.
KFC I gotta give away food.
The only thing I will say is I do think that KFC joined the social media bandwagon a little bit late.
Agreed.
In terms of, especially as it relates to influencer marketing.
Agreed.
I definitely feel like for a long time, KFC's version of social media marketing was just posting graphics and posting the same ads that they were running on TV.
Right.
Which is fine. Back in the day, I think when everybody was just going on social media, fine. But I feel like now we're just we're in the era of what people call like low effort content. And I think, I don't know if it was you I was talking to about it the other day, but we're in an era where brands need to care. If you're gonna do well on social media, brands need to care about entertainment.
Right.
It's almost as if, and I read an article the other day that was talking about like trends in social media going into 2026, and one of the things is like brands are becoming media companies.
Right.
Because in order to do well on social media, you have to become a media company. Your marketing team has to not just be able to write an ad and hire somebody to execute. Your brand team has to be able
to do the whole thing.
To basically produce a TV show or a film.
Sitcoms are coming back.
The sitcoms are coming back. They're just on your phone now.
And you know what? To that is Jamaica, or online content. I'll say most of it is skits.
Yes,
and
we love a little drama.
drama.
Let me tell you, what's so funny is that we don't play the art so much here in Jamaica on like a monetary level.
Yeah.
But we love drama class. We love a skit. We love comedy. We love watch movie.
You're going to drama class right now and you don't see the man them, but give them a phone and a tripod.
Trust me.
You have a whole TV show.
You have a whole TV show. Right there, them really and truly just need.
But I'll say that's also.
They don't even need nothing because them are the director and the producer and the screenwriter.
That's also one
and the
thing.
Cameraman.
You know, to your point of them joining the influencer marketing game late, I feel like KFC is also one of those brands that have a really large digital community, online community, and I would expect them more to be involved with people, with creators, with influencers. You know, just outside of barbecue popcorn chicken campaign, like just in general, like KFC could be doing a lot more. A lot more.
Enough of KFC. We love your KFC, but we have to move on. So I think another big moment of 2025, and this was kind of like niche, but I think it was quite impactful.
Okay.
Red Bull flying through the sky at Carnival
they ate that.
Was crazy. I know they got into a little trouble after because I think they were like not permits.
But I love that though.
But like, don't ask for permission, ask forgiveness.
Like Red Bull is a daredevil brand.
I thought
push the limit.
Boy, I thought it fit perfectly with their brand identity.
I almost hope that they got fined because you getting fined defines Red Bull.
Yeah. No,
Red Bull gives you wings? Like what? What do you mean?
I feel like it was so iconic.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of? like, you know, the Red Bull sketch ads that they would run on TV.
Yes.
It
felt like that
it
come
felt
to
like
life.
that.
Yes.
And I was like, it had me so excited.
And the fact that it was at Carnival, like literally, I remember being in the crowd. It was literally me, Ashley, and Kian, and we were all there, and we're like, "Oh, what is in the sky?" Like,
Yeah, and you know what's the craziest thing? It was not a long activation,
No,
but there
but
were
it was
so many different POVs.
it was so impactful. When I tell you, everybody just comes at the same time.
Immediately find them phone. Like there was multiple different drone shots. I'm like,
I took pictures of it to like it was just such
crazy.
an iconic moment.
Yeah, no, I'll give them their tens.
For sure. Another thing that I thought was really impactful was, as a matter of fact, before we get into there, we're gonna pay the water. No, we never pay the. We pay the water bill already.
Yeah,
we're gonna pay the phone bill now. Yeah, we're gonna pay the phone bill.
Eller.
And we're back.
Okay.
Bring phone still connected. Of that. All right. So the next thing that I thought was really cool, and it's so cool on so many levels, could have been executed a little better.
Yeah.
But I think Sugar and Spice's cake cups.
Oh, that was iconic.
No, Sugar and Spice's cake cups. I'm not saying it was a successful campaign because there wasn't really a campaign. It kind of did just.
It just popped up.
There was no rhyme. Wouldn't say there's no rhyme or reason, but there was no big budget behind it. There wasn't no influencer activation. There wasn't any. I don't think there was even a budget to properly roll that out other than the subscription to Canva to make the graphic. But
big up Canva.
Wow. I never see so much people talk about Sugar and Spice.
No, don't get me wrong, you know. I know that I hope I'm speaking for most Jamaicans. We all have an experience with Sugar and Spice cake.
It's a part of our cultural identity at this point.
Whether they did have it at your birthday, whether they did have it at your class party, whether your auntie did have it at our wedding or something. Yeah. Like, everybody in Kingston at least has had a slice of, Sugar and Spice cake.
And people love Sugar and Spice. I mean, there are some people who don't like it, but Sugar and Spice cake, it's all sugar.
You did try it?
Try the cake cup?
Yeah.
I have yet to try the cake cup.
Same.
I'm not gonna lie, the cake cup to me feels like a lot.
Okay.
Because honestly,
Was it the portion?
It's a portion for me.
Okay.
I feel like I am very satisfied with the sliced cake.
But they make a smaller cup now.
I know. So I saw that. So what's so funny is that my sister and I were talking about it, and I said, I think the biggest downfall of that cake cup thing is that it's just so big.
But
and then I saw that they made the smaller one. I said, that is genius. As a matter of fact, that should have been the only one.
But that's a big mistake that brands make a lot of times, and sometimes they pin it on marketing, is they always want to come out with the bigger size product first.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whenever you're launching a new product, why not always just start with the one that...
Why not start with the smaller one, wait until you notice that people are buying 10 of the smaller one, and then you bust the bigger one.
Make your consumers request like, no, we want more of this, we want a bigger one.
Right.
Because if you're selling a cake, are you gonna start selling the biggest cake, or are you gonna start make a small cake and then make the people them say, you know what, we want a 20 inch.
There might be a lot of reasons for that we don't know. It might be that they had extra cups, extra containers, and then say, boy, we're gonna use a container them, because honest to God, there are a lot of products that come about that way.
That's true.
There are a lot of products that come about just because we have excess containers laying around. Let's figure out how to pack these containers and sell them. We have excess lettuce. Let's figure out how to. We have excess cake.
Exactly.
Let's figure out. So I wouldn't be surprised if that might have been what it was. So maybe that decision wasn't necessarily strategic.
But even though you and I never bought any, like, they moved.
No, they move.
Like,
they move.
Like, I've been in there personally, and I want to say maybe every other person in the line I've seen bought one. And I was like, these things are moving. I feel like faster than the cakes themselves. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah. What's crazy is that sometimes I want a cake and I can't buy a cake. And I'm like, are we using all the cakes for the cake cups? I want a cake, but want to have the liquor happy birthday. But no, I thought it was great.
Agreed.
Next one that we have is, honestly, just Juici Patties in general. I know people might think I'm biased because I know a lot, like, honestly, people call me the patty girl.
I'm definitely biased.
But Juici Patty, I cannot deny which patty company in Jamaica right now is doing it like Juici Patties?
I'll tell you why I'm biased. I am from Sentan, Ochi originally. And if anybody know Ochi, before now, Ochi is a small town. Still is right now. Why Ochi have 3 Juici Patties?
Because she's that girl.
Like, that is just... Every time I think about that, I'm like, the power you have to put 3 locations walking distance within each other and them all being full.
And now there's one right by the boot in
Right,
Jaxal.
in Jaxal.
So that's what, a 4th one right outside of Ochi?
That's literally main character energy, like...
And then there's another one down the road by Discovery. Like, they're not far.
They're not far. Like... But I literally grew up on Juici Patty. Literally every time after the dentist, after, you go to the doctor. To me, my post-doctor meal was a patty, a cocoa bread, and a fresh box drink.
Fair.
Like the brand Fresh.
No, same.
Yeah.
Same. People always ask me, like, why... Well, first of all, a lot of people... Let me make myself clear. Let me make this statement right now. A lot of people think that I don't really like Juici Patty and I'm just doing it because they pay me money. I love Juici Patty. I frequent... Ask the people them over at Juici Patty Constant Spring how much time them see me. Them see me about 4 times last week alone. Yeah, right? I actually go to Juici.
And the image that I feel like the first content piece of yours to ever come across my timeline was, I feel like, that iconic patty image. Like...
And what I think is so almost poetic about that is that when people ask me why I like Juici, honestly, what drew me to Juici at first, because I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I would have said I do prefer tasty patty because that is what I had access to at the time. Because we would go to Sugar and Spice very often, but then what led me to Juici was they offer other things like their shrimp patty. I love Juici shrimp patty. And then my sister became vegetarian and Tasty don't have anything to offer vegetarians. Brianna can go to Juici and Brianna can have a veggie patty. She can have a soy patty or she can have a shrimp patty if she's feeling, to have the seafood that day. So
or a veggie loaf.
Like I felt like the options, I just had so much more options.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe because of the options, I willed myself to become a Juici Patty fan. But that's not the point. The point is that I am not a Juici Patty fan, and 9 times out of 10, I will choose to go to Juici Patty. Especially because Juici Patty have drive-through.
Yes.
That's also a big thing. The drive-through in Constant Spring, as I said, I frequent that because to me, it's just so convenient. I hate stepping out of my car to go into Sugar and Spice. It will deter me from going into a Sugar and Spice or a Tasty.
And I think something that needs to become a trend in 2026, brands need to get focused on building out proper to-go mechanisms.
Yes.
To go, like business concepts.
Yes. And I think a lot of them don't realize that, like, Kingston, not Jamaica. Kingston is very fast paced.
Yeah.
Kingston, as much as people say, oh, let's go to Jamaica because it's so nice and island vibes, and
Kingston is not that.
Kingston and an island vibe.
No.
We depend corporate time.
Very
Even if you're not working at
hustle and
corporate,
bustle.
we depend the hustle and the bustle, right? And so people, for me, a lot of times, I don't really want to get out of my car if I'm on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not even talk about the whole thing of like being, as a woman, being harassed by every man. But it's just so convenient for me to just I'm in the drive-through. While I'm in the drive-through, I'm sitting in my AC, and maybe I'm sending out an email while I'm sitting in the drive-through. Maybe I'm on a call while I'm sitting in the drive-through. It doesn't disrupt my life. And I think, to me, that's the benefit that Juici Patties has done. They've put in, in my opinion, some better to-go experiences.
Right.
That I think people really and truly they see the effort and they're rewarding Juici Patties by going there.
And to me, I feel like you also, like, if you want to talk about ROI, you move money faster. If you have an efficient to-go model, if you have, delivery and pickup and, drive-through and all of them, something there, you're moving more product.
Yeah.
You're making more money.
And we know that it's working. Juici Patties, I think, in the last 3 years has really picked up. They've expanded a lot. They've invested in their marketing, especially on social media. Juici Patties gone international.
Okay.
Juici Patties gone international.
Now that you touch on that.
What you mean about them in Florida and New York?
Right now, like...
What you mean about me can't eat a Juici Patty in the snow?
Juici Patty shake up the place. Because before,
shake it. If
it feels for a little beef patty, a little chicken patty, especially if you live in, like, the diaspora, places like Florida and New York, like, you would have had to go to Golden Cross. Yes. Or a little shop or sell patty.
Yes.
The fact that there's so many Juici Patties right now in Florida is crazy.
Crazy. And yes, I'm biased. Yes, I am biased. Yes, my picture was in the first one that opened in Florida. It was on the screen. So yes, I am biased. But I think I am biased for a very good reason.
And you know what? That's on being a part of Brand Jamaica.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you. That's what you get when you invest in your creators.
And as a creator that's worked with Juici Patties, how do you feel about, Juici Patties' approach to, like, influencer marketing?
I think their approach is very good. I think it's robust. I think Juici Patties is one of the few companies that I think is consistent. And, I mean, to me, what I like about how their approach is that I think they are, for example, Juici Patties and I have had a relationship
years now,
and I appreciate that. I appreciate that Juici. I can't even tell you the amount of work Juici and I have done together. So I appreciate that. But on the flip side, I do appreciate as well that Juici is always looking for new influencers on the come up.
Yes.
It's never just the same old same. They're always looking to see which new audience they can tap into. So
they want to go into the community pockets.
Yes, and I definitely appreciate that about them. On an insider level, personally, I would love if at this point I could just have an annual contract with you, Juici Patties. Personally,
I also like
but I also understand as an agency owner myself, I understand why that may not be an option right now. But think about it.
I also appreciate, like, them not discriminating based on the size of your community.
Yes.
So Juici will work with you if you have 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers, or if you have 100,000 followers. Like, it doesn't matter as long as you appeal to a particular community and you align with their brand. It seems like they'll work with you.
I think they have a really good team.
Yeah.
Behind them, and I know they work with a couple agencies too. I think they have a lot of good people in their corner ideating for them, and I think that is great.
And I think they're open to new ideas.
For sure. All right, next one that I think was really cool is Heineken launching all of their F1 watch parties. Now, why I think this is really cool, and we kind of have to speed through some of these because time's soon up, time, why I think this was really cool is because I know that, like, I feel like the interest in F1 in Jamaica has been growing.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like a lot of people are getting into F1. Obviously, we don't really have a F1... We don't have an F1 thing out here, like, but I think, we have people like Fraser McConnell who big on driving, people like Sarah Messier who are doing the driving thing. So it's like, we're getting into driving on a community level, and I think Heineken really did their big one by tapping into that and kind of like just taking advantage of that community so early on.
But dare I say, even though it's niche, we've always had that community, because when I think
Dover,
about Dover and just like drag racing in general.
Big up Uncle Peter, Ian Ray.
Like, Dover is a big thing. People literally pack up bus and them families for go watch Dover Raceway. And I've never been, but I've seen photos and videos of it, and I'm just like, wow, this is a whole other niche experience that you can have in Jamaica.
Yeah, and I think all along Dover was a niche experience because you had to drive down to country for it, and I think Heineken has made that experience more accessible for people
and global.
in Kingston. Yeah, and I think that's what's really cool about it. I could not do this and not mention, funny enough, we're mentioning this right after Heineken, but I couldn't not mention Red Stripes I Love Jamaica Hurricane Melissa Relief Telethon.
Oh, yes.
I thought it was great. I thought it was just the timing.
Honestly, hats off to them and their partners for pulling that off in such
so
a short time.
So quickly when I saw...
That's crazy.
Because actually, funny enough, I didn't really know about it until it was actually happening.
Yeah.
But
it was a big production.
It was huge. It was huge, and they had so many like influencers and Jamaican like quote unquote celebrities a part of it, and I thought the fact that it was for a good cause.
Whoa, light gone, never paid the light bill.
Jano. Keep going.
We press.
The fact that it was for a good cause made it even better for me. I think it just proved that Red Stripe cares about the community.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were able to jump into action so quickly, I think, is quite commendable.
Yeah, I also commend them for taking the telethon approach, because that's so nostalgic.
It is so, and I feel like in an era where I feel like we're in the era of nostalgia.
We're going back to the vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going back to our roots where the vibes are concerned.
Yeah. And last but not least, for kind of just our discussion, is the St. Mary's and JFF partnership.
Oh.
No, I never go no JFF match because football are not my ministry.
I did.
But I know you did, and you're the one who was telling me about how you felt about this.
This was, I'd say, 2 words, culturally appropriate. I feel like we have a very large football culture, football fan base. Like, the man them obsessed with football. And I feel like for you to realize that that's a very loyal community and you can tap into, because everybody who go stadium, go watch a match or, go watch track and field or anything like that, a big part of the culture is snacking.
Yeah.
Because you can't buy big food in a stadium. You don't have no box food, no access to none of them things there.
And after you done scream, you need something.
You need something. Yeah. You're thirsty, you're hungry, and you positioning your products as like the perfect game time snack. Whoever come up with that, locked in, genius.
Amazing. Yeah. No, I think it's great positioning as well. And I mean, kind of like to piggyback off of that too. I mean, even Wray Nephew's positioning with JFF as well.
Right.
Not even just JFF. I know, like, I think they were also behind. They're behind a lot of sporting events. Because I think I went to the Sunshine Girls also last year. And I think their branding is on point. I think it's very colorful. It's very interesting, and I just love anybody. I love when brands invest in a community. I'm a big fan.
And you know what? I don't interact with Wray Nephew a lot online.
Yeah, me neither.
But I will say they are a part of communities, and to be honest, community culture in marketing is where it matters.
For sure. Especially in a small space like Jamaica, where we're so tight knit, for sure. All right, so just for some other little special mention, right?
A run through.
So I thought the Coca-Cola Beats Festival was very different, very unique. I thought the idea of bringing CB Pan, incorporating pork, I thought that was brilliant. Yes. Popeye's launching barbecue chicken.
It was giving competition.
Nyam. Also, big up Sahash, who did that CGI video.
So good.
Amazing. Not to toot our own horn, but the Chilitos Love Island collab.
I ate that.
Jordan ate that, for real. We really leveraged a cultural moment there, and I thought it was great. It was amazing. The KFC dropping the Doritos zinger. Controversial, but like the people spoke about it.
Yeah, like it was all over the place. Yeah. Like people were posting, people were talking, like it was a thing.
Yeah, it had again another reason for KFC to be in people's mouths. Red Stripe dropping a mango.
Oh, people been begging for a new flavor for a while.
People been begging for a new flavor, and I think several things. They were begging for the new flavor. Mango is so culturally Jamaican.
Very Jamaican.
And it also did taste like the mango sweetie that you find in your granny handbag.
Which was nostalgic.
So, great. And then the last thing was, I think, Grace reviving Zesty. I think that was a great move. I remember Zesty when I was in prep school.
Oh, wow.
And then it went away.
So long Zesty the road?
Yes, and then it went away, and then no, we have it again. I mean, one thing I will say, I do think they could have done a better job on the rollout, because I would have loved to see a little bit more.
Play up on the nostalgia a little bit, you know?
But I think it's a great introduction to bring back something, especially, as I said, we're in the era of nostalgia.
And I will say maybe they were ahead of the game, because now in 2026, when we're all about bringing back the 2016 vibe, them locked in on bringing back Zesty right now. I don't know, pro move.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and now to wrap up, I guess our final thoughts. Like, what do we want to see more in the food marketing space as we go into 2026 and beyond?
I want to see more experiential marketing, you know? I want to see you doing more like brand activations, brand engagements, and, you know, not just having a radio station pop up at, you know, a supermarket, and, you know, you're calling that, you know, a brand engagement. Like, push the boundaries, actually invite your community, invite creators if you need to invite influencers, but, you know, do it in a way that people wouldn't expect. Reimagine the engagement with your brand.
I agree. I definitely hear you on the experiential marketing thing. I think for me, that's where a lot of my ideas go to, because I think some of the most impactful things, especially like thinking about New York culture, one of the most impactful things I see abroad is experiential marketing. When brands meet their consumers in the streets doing like these crazy, outlandish activations, because or like these partnerships that just don't make sense, but then they make sense at the end of the day, you know,
organically generating buzz. Like,
yes, for sure. Like, we don't have to pay all of this money to run a billboard. You could take the $500,000 and run something really cool that people will post forever and ever and ever, and it will last so long because people will constantly talk about it.
I don't know why we haven't bought into it yet, but it's literally proof over and over again where if you spend the money to do something right, it will pay off.
Yeah, it will, for sure. And on that note,
WongaPod!
Yeah, big up the WongaPod. And, you know, if you're looking for any digital marketing assistance, if you need help with your influencer marketing campaign, if you need help creating any content for your business, hit up WongaMedia. Find us
Shameless plug.
You know, we are Wonga on Instagram. We are Wonga.com. That's our website. If you want to, you know, learn a little bit more, you can also email hello@wearewonga.com. You know, if you have a business proposal for us.
And if you're not our next client, then you may know our next client. So share.
Yeah, keep our name in your mouth. So
Period.
You know. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jordan.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I like this.
All right, guys. See you next time in the WongaPod.
Bye, Wongans.